sit back in your seats, get something to eat, and watch this movie. Don't let the kiddies see it, because, well, we'll let you hear the beginning first. Thank you.
Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to Closet Chats,
Yeah!
where we talk about our deepest and darkest desires.
Or we just talk about random shit.
Okay, I guess we'll do that.
Yay!
Alright, I am Sunny.
And I am Rainy.
How are you doing today, Rainy?
Well, I feel old.
Oh yeah, a few days ago was Rainy's birthday.
Yep!
July 1st.
Yay!
The end of gay pride. How could you?
I'm sorry. I have no control, okay? I have no control.
I'm disappointed.
I'm sorry. I just realized I forgot to put the timer on. Continue. Well, ignore me while I put the timer on. Okay. The timer's on. Okay.
So, in our previous 3 episodes, we went over the Scream movies.
Yep.
And before that, we were doing a bit of a rabbit hole Wikipedia, hello?
Journey. Sorry.
So Rainy, I was eating some cake and Rainy just went up to my plate, took some of the frosting and velvet left, like, hello? Little scavenger?
Yeah.
Or what is it called? What are those big birds called?
Vultures?
Oh, yeah, you little vulture? What are you doing?
But it was my birthday cake.
That's true. I guess you have the right to it.
Yeah. But also, like, I was just picking it up.
But yeah, so, we're gonna do something similar again for this episode. This time with a focus on folklore.
Yay! Because we found some articles, on the Wikipedia's unusual articles section. And some of these, I'm just like, okay, this will be, both interesting yet terrifying at the same time.
I feel like a lot of these are gonna be humorous.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Alright.
Right.
Rainy, my dear.
Yes.
My dear host.
I should go first then?
Would you like to go first?
Okay, I will. Alright, we're gonna first start off with the 1593 transported soldier legend.
Ooh, are we doing this in order? Okay.
Either in order or just random. I just wanted to do this one first because it involves my family's native home country, Mexico. Alrighty. So according to a folk legend, in October 1593, a soldier of the Spanish Empire named Gil Perez, at least that's what his name was in the 1908 version, he was mysteriously transported from Manila in the Philippines to the Plaza Mayor, now known as the Zocolo. I'm sorry,
I sure hope that's how it's pronounced.
I'm going to say ahead of time, I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce.
No, you got it right. It's Socolo.
Socolo? Yeah. It has an accent, that's why I messed up. In Mexico City. There we go. Now, the soldier had claimed he had come from the Philippines, and he was not believed by the natives, the Mexicans there, until he stated his account of the assassination of Gomez Perez, Des Marinas.
Yeah, there you go, good job.
That was taking place months, that was corroborated months later by the passengers of a ship which had crossed the Pacific Ocean with the news. So, yeah, it was basically a story about how he got transported from the Philippines to Mexico.
Ooh, you should read the story part.
Okay. So, on October 24th, 1593, the soldier was guarding the Pasilio del Gobernador in Manila in the... Manila?
Wait, hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah. In the Oh my god, I cannot. Manila in the Captaincy General of the Philippines. The night before, Governor Gomez Perez Dasmariñas was assassinated by Chinese pirates, but the guards still guarded the palace and awaited the appointment of a new governor. The soldier began to feel dizzy and exhausted. He leaned against the wall and rested for a moment with his eyes closed. When he opened his eyes a few seconds later, he found himself in Mexico City, in the viceroyalty of New Spain, thousands of kilometers across the ocean. Some guards found him in the wrong uniform and began to question who he was. The news of the assassination of the governor of the Philippines was still unknown to the people in Mexico City. The transported soldier was reportedly wearing the palace guard's uniform in Manila and knew of his death. In fact, Perez Dasmariñas was killed at sea some distance from Manila. The authorities placed him in jail for being a deserter and with charges of being a servant of the devil. Months later, news of the governor's death came to Mexico on a galleon from the Philippines. One of the passengers recognized the imprisoned soldier and said that he had seen him in the Philippines a day after the death of the governor. He was eventually released from jail by the authorities and allowed to go back home.
You know, that's pretty interesting because, like, there's a lot of cases where people will, you know, be doing something, you know, their own thing in this one location. And then suddenly, as if like a glitch in the world.
Glitch in the Matrix?
Yeah, they just like, you know, they're found somewhere else, miles and miles away, you know. Sometimes it can be like this case, you know, from one continent to another. Like literally like an ocean apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, cases like that, so it's just kind of interesting, because, like, what happened? And, you know, it's just the fact that this still happens.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that one case where it was that guy in the airport who was a foreigner, but he was talking about a foreign country that didn't exist, but he had, like, a passport. Have you ever heard about that?
I have not.
It was like, I think it was like in the 1900s. And he was like, you know, he had like his passport, identification, all these different things like that, you know, supposedly belongs from like this other like country that doesn't exist here. And I think he ended up just disappearing after that.
Oh.
So they never like found out anything about that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it kind of like come on, like someone teleported from one country to another within seconds. So that means that something had to have happened.
Well, yeah, but it could be like, let's say, for example, certain parts of the world or certain parts in like different locations that have like maybe, you know, it's like fabric of reality. And in that one specific spot, you're able to kind of, like, travel, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because there's, like, cases where, I remember hearing about it a while ago, where it's, like, in the forest, how sometimes there's, like, oh, like, there's a door or, like, a stairway going towards nothing. And people have been, like, reported to, like, go towards, like, you know, go in those areas and they just disappear. Or they're found, like, somewhere else, right? So I'm wondering if it's, like...
Could be, like, one of those.
I mean, I personally don't believe in it, but, like... the fact that there's so many stories.
I mean, the world's a mysterious place sometimes.
That it is. Alright,
Alright.
Alright, next up on the list is bird people.
Bird people!
So, let's see.
Hi, my little baby boy. Sorry, I have my dog nephew back again.
Gumja is joining the show for today.
Yeah.
Alright, so bird people, also known as avian humanoids, so those people with the characteristics of birds, are a common motif in folklore and popular fiction, mainly found in Greek, Roman, mythi, Hindu, Persian mythology, etc. Let's see. Oh, geez. Yeah, it's just a whole list of different, like, kinds of bird people.
Yes. Folklore.
So,
my God.
first one is Alcanoas from Russian mythology.
Ooh.
So, Alcanoas is a legendary woman-headed bird in Slavic folklore. Let's see. Yeah, looking at it, it's like the torso of a woman. You know, with the head, the torso, and then there's the wings, and it's like the bottom half of like a bird. In this picture I'm looking at, it looks like a chicken. The name of the Alcanoas came from a Greek demigoddess whose name was Alcone? Alcyone? Let me see. I'm going to assume I'm pronouncing that wrong. In Greek mythology, Alcyon was transformed by the gods into a kingfisher. So what is a kingfisher? Okay, so that's a kind of bird. It's like a beautiful, like, teal and black and gray colored bird with a long, like bright red beak.
Oh.
Very beautiful. So she was turned into a kingfisher. Alcanoas make amazingly beautiful sounds, and those who hear these sounds forget everything they know and want nothing more ever again. She lives in the underworld with her counterpart, the siren. The Alcanoas lays her eggs on a beach and then rolls them into the sea. When the eggs hatch, a thunderstorm sets in, and the sea becomes so rough that it becomes impossible to traverse. She is also the sister of other birds from Slavic mythology, such as Ragrog and Stratum. According to the folk tales, at the morning of the apple feast of the Savior Day, Siren flies into the apple orchard and cries sadly. In the afternoon, the Alcanoas flies to the place, beginning to rejoice and laugh. Alcanoas brushes dew from her wings, granting healing powers to all fruits of the trees she is sitting on. So it's a pretty cool, badass bird person. Yeah.
Oh my God, I actually did take a quick look at the list of all the...
There's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Like...
I figure we can just look at a few. Obviously, there's angels.
Of course, everyone knows what angels are. There's Cupid / Eros.
Yeah,
there's Aries.
I like how angels is, like, considered... An angel is a supernatural spiritual being. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's actually quite interesting. Oh, then there's the one from the Aztecs. The Aztecs gods pantheon, which I don't think either one can pronounce this correctly. But let me try. Hitzitzilopochtli? Chil? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. But it does give us some translations.
Oh, I think I...
So it's either the hummingbirds south or hummingbirds left.
Okay. Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff like that. There's more Russian mythologies. There's the Egyptian.
Of course.
Yeah,
there's
Iris.
More Greek.
Morpheus.
Oh, there's a... Oh, Morpheus?
Morpheus.
Oh, God.
Nemesis.
There's one in Japanese folklore. The Kura. Or the Kurura. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it was winged genie, which is a recurring motif in Assyrian art. They're bearded men with bird wings. I kind of like that.
Oh, the Tengu of Japanese folklore, which is just a monstrous...
Ooh. Oh, I want to look at that. Okay.
Yeah. Forest and mountain dwelling
This
humanoid.
can be the last one for this. So Tengu translates to heavenly dog or heavenly sentinel. They are a type of legendary creature found in Japanese folk religion. They are considered a type of yokai, which are supernatural beings, or Shinto kamis, which is gods. The Tengu was originally thought to take the forms of birds of prey and a monkey deity, and they are traditionally depicted with human, monkey, and avian characteristics. Ooh, this is a word. Sarutahiko Okami is considered to be the original model of Konoha Tengu, a supernatural creature with a red face and a long nose, which today is widely considered the Tengu's defining characteristic in the popular imagination. He is the Shinto monkey deity who sheds light on heaven and earth. Some experts theorize that Sarutahiko was a sun god worshipped in the Aiz region. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going to assume I'm not. Prior to the population of Amaterasu. Yeah, we're really good at pronouncing words in this podcast.
Yep. We're just going to say it right now. I think we've said it before, but we'll say it again. We are dumb Americans.
Sure.
Oh, our education system wasn't great. Sorry.
Buddhism long held that the Tengu were disruptive demons and harbingers of war. Their image gradually softened, however, into one of protective and even manifestations of Buddhist deities. If still dangerous, spirits of the mountains and forests. Tengu are associated with the ascetic practice of shogundo. Shogundo? I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. And they are usually depicted in the garb of its followers, the yambushi. Yeah, so they look pretty cool. There's like a variety of shapes. It can look pretty monstrous. Has a long nose. The earliest representations of Tengu appeared in Japanese picture scrolls, like in 1296 C. Origins. There's a lot of words. Anyways, bird people.
We didn't plan that, but yay.
It's a lot of bird people.
Yep.
All right.
My turn then? All right. We're doing behind the sofa. So, here it is. Behind the sofa is a British pop culture phase describing the fearful reaction of hiding behind a sofa to avoid seeing frightening parts of a television program. The sofa offering a place to hide from the on-screen threat with the implication that one wants to remain in the room to watch the rest of the program.
I feel that.
Although the phrase is sometimes employed in a serious context, its use is usually intended to be humorous or nostalgic.
Do you ever remember doing that?
No, I've never done that.
Really? I remember doing that when it was like something kind of like scary, or not necessarily scary, because I remember doing that for some of the original, I think it was for the original Star Wars movie.
Really?
Like the first one. Not the prequels, but like
the original 3.
Yeah, the original 3. And I remember like hiding behind the sofa and like literally leaving the room but coming back. Like I keep going back and forth. And it was a scene when they were like in the like this like sewer area with the like big like monster and the like the water.
Oh.
And it starts to grab at them, and then there's like a bunch of stuff happening, and I was like, oh, this is literally directing, like, this is like my worst fears.
Yeah. No, I remember that either I would just run out of the room and never come back until it was completely safe.
Yeah.
Or hiding behind like a person or blankets. I'd never hide behind the physical couch.
Oh, well, I don't even know.
Because the couches in my house has always been up against the wall, so
yeah.
I've never had that chance. But yeah, I would just scurry like a rat. But yeah, so it actually was originated. It has origin. So there's a section called Origin in Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. So let me read this. The expression originated from the popular media commentary on young children being frightened by the episodes of the BBC science fiction television series Doctor Who, particularly during the 1960s to the 1980s. The idea that young children would hide behind furniture when especially frightening scenes and monsters were being shown, as they were unwilling to miss the program altogether, was also popularized in the media as early as 1973. So, Yeah, Doctor Who is the reason why we have, and at least in the United Kingdom, has this phase. This
Praise?
phrase. Phase. Yeah.
Phrase. Yeah.
Yes.
No, Mom, it's just a phase.
Oh. But yeah, so that, of course, and there's also other stuff with pop culture. But I don't know. I feel like Doctor Who, because I've seen one episode with Doctor Who, and it's with the Weeping Angels.
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, I can understand why some, and I know that's like a very like within the 2000s or late early 2010s. I'm like, but yeah, I can still see how that's kind of scary.
Honestly, yeah, because, like, even the older episodes, like, they had, like, Daleks, like, all these different things, and I remember, like, being like, wow, this is actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Like, the ones that are, like, still black and white.
Yep. Alrighty.
Alright, I am gonna go to... Ooh, I am stuck between Brits de Almeida or the Cottingley fairies.
Oh.
The Cottingley fairies, I actually already know about that.
I don't know about that.
Really? Okay.
I don't.
I will talk about this one then.
Okay.
So this is actually pretty cool.
Oh my god, I've seen that picture before.
Yeah, exactly. I actually read a book about it in middle school. So the Cottingley fairies appears in a series of 5 photographs taken by, I think, Elsie Wright and Francis Griffiths, 2 young cousins who lived in Cottingley near Bradford in England. In 1917, when the first 2 photographs were taken, Elsie was 16 years old and Francis was 9. The pictures came to the attention of writer Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He used them to illustrate an article on fairies he had been commissioned to write for the Christmas 1920 edition of the Strand magazine. Doyle, as a spiritualist, was enthusiastic about the photographs and interpreted them as clear and visible evidence of psychic phenomena. Public reaction was mixed. Some accepted the images as genuine, others believed that they had been faked. So in the image provided, it's black and white and it's of a girl. She has a flower crown and around her there are these little fairy figures around her. And what I believe, yeah, so they actually created them out of cardboard, right? So we'll go a little bit more into that in a moment. Interest in the Cottingley fairies gradually declined after 1921. Both girls married and lived abroad for a time after they grew up, and yet the photographs continued to hold the public imagination. In 1966, a reporter from the Daily Express newspaper traced Elsie, who had by then returned to the United Kingdom. Elsie left open the possibility that she believed she had photographed her thoughts, and the media once again became interested in the story. In the early 1980s, Elsie and Francis admitted that the photographs were fake, using cardboard cutouts of fairies copied from a popular children's book of the time. But Francis maintained that the 5th and final photograph was genuine. As of 2019, the photographs and the cameras used are in the collections of the National Science and Media Museum in Bradford, England. In December 2019, the 3rd camera used to take the images was acquired and is scheduled to complete the exhibition. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff, actually. Yep. There's 1917 photographs, initial examinations, 1920 photographs, publication reaction, Gardner's final visit, later investigations, confession, subsequent history, references, etc., etc.
Yeah.
It's kind of a lot to it.
Yeah. I will say that when you really think about it, they're the first type of people that on DeviantArt, when they take photos and when they kind of like manipulate.
Yeah.
They would be the first ones. Like, they kind of pioneer it for everyone when you really think about it. But in all seriousness, like, I mean, it's like...
It was the early days of Photoshop.
Yeah, it was the very early days of Photoshop. But going into that, like, I don't know how people were fooled by this when...
I mean, people were fooled by a lot of stuff. I mean, think about it, like, with medicine.
Yeah, that's true.
Snake oil.
We don't know.
All that stuff. The lady who kept shoving rabbits up her cooch and pretending to give birth to them, and people believed that she was the real deal. A bunch of doctors believed she was the real deal until, like, way later when they actually were, like, examining her for, like, several days, and they were like... Oh, you're no longer giving birth. Oh, god damn it. You're a liar.
I don't know if I needed to know that.
That's a thing that happened in medical history.
Oh, wonderful.
Check out Sawbones, folks. It's a good podcast.
Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, I mean, when you look at... Okay, I'm trying to... Let me see if I can zoom in the photo.
I mean, it's clearly not real when you look at it,
yeah,
but
it's obvious.
And the other thing is, I mean, honestly, if there was a bit more of, like, shading for the bodies of the elves, honestly...
Probably would have been a lot more people.
Yeah, because, like, I'm looking at it, and if it was, like, a bit more, like...
Yeah.
Attention to that, I feel like, honestly, you could probably, like, get fooled, but looking at it, it's, like, clear, like, cutouts, and the other thing is the fact that, oh, these are cutouts from, like, a children's story at the time, so it's, like, how did people not, like, see the resemblance with that, you know?
Yeah, and, like, I'm trying to find that fifth, photo, because... Like, was it the eldest cousin where she said, yeah, that fifth photo is completely real? Because some of them I see, like, it's, like, obvious that it's...
Oh, okay. There's, like, a little bit more on that. In 1983, the cousins admitted in an article published in the magazine The Unexplained that the photographs had been fake, although both maintained that they really had seen fairies. Elsie had copied illustrations of dancing girls from a popular children's book at the time, Princess Mary's Gift Book, published in 1914, and drew wings on them. They said they had to cut out the cardboard figures and supported them with hat pins, disposing of their props in the beck once the photograph had been taken. But the cousins disagreed about the fifth and final photograph, which Doyle in his Coming of the Fairies described in this way. Seated in the upper left-hand edge with wing well displayed is an undraped fairy, apparently considering whether it is time to get up. An earlier riser of more mature age is seen on the right, possessing abundant hair and wonderful wings. Her slightly denser body can be glimpsed within her fairy dress. So let me show it to you. Oh. So it's a black and white image, and you can kind of see them here. Do you see their faces?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see the faces.
So this is a much more subtle photograph. In fact, honestly, looking at it, it looks really well done.
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually a really good photo.
Mm-hmm. But Elsie maintained it was a fake, just like the others, but Frances was the one who insisted that it was genuine. So in the early 1980s, Frances said, "It was a wet Saturday afternoon, and we were just mooching about with our cameras, and Elsie had nothing prepared. I saw these fairies building up in the grasses and just aimed the camera and took a photograph." And let's see. In the Times newspaper on April 9th, 1983, Jeffrey Crawley explained the discrepancy by suggesting that the photograph was an unintended double exposure of fairy cutouts in the grass. and thus both ladies can be quite sincere in believing that they each took it. So that could be an explanation of why it looks pretty realistic. It's because of the double exposure.
Yeah. Especially with those cameras, they were pretty still working out some kinks, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it could be obvious that it was just that they were like it said it was a double exposure because newer the very first cameras, they were not the best of the best. They were still figuring out kinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's interesting because let's see. There's a brief quote that I kind of liked. So this is from France's memoirs, and the book contained correspondence, sometimes bitter, between Elsie and Francis. In one letter dated 1983, Francis wrote, "I hated these photographs from the age of 16 when Mr. Gardner presented me with a bunch of flowers and wanted me to sit on the platform with him. I realized what I was in for if I did not keep myself hidden." Oh, and apparently there was a film created in 1997, Fairy Tale, A True Story, and Photographing Fairies, that were inspired by this event.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that actually is. Yeah, now after going through that, now I remember seeing that photo at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's a really cool. Because I think at the time I was like, oh, that's someone.
Those are straight up fairies.
Either straight. I don't know if it was that or if I was like, oh, someone.
Created it basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, it's good to know that they were technically it was a actual photo, but it was also probably a hoax.
I mean, it is straight up a hoax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading about it because I think there was a book on it back in middle school, back when I was a bookworm and would read everything. But yeah. All right, what do you think? One more article?
One more article, yeah, because I think we have about 13 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know about the Flying Ointment?
The Flying Ointment?
Yes.
What in the... Oh my, okay.
All right, so the Flying Ointment is a hallucinogenic ointment said to have been used by witches in the practice of European witchcraft from at least as far back as the early modern period, which detailed recipes for such preparation were first recorded. And then we have two pictures where it's where witches are doing stuff.
They're doing some witchy hot girl shit.
Yeah, of course. All right. So here is the section about names. The ointment is known by a wide variety of names, including witch's flying ointment, green ointment, magic salve. There we go. Thank you. Or, oh my god, lycanthropic ointment. Thank you.
Lycanthropic sounds kind of like, oh, throbbing.
I think it involves something with wolf. If
lichen is... because lichen...
is wolf.
Yeah.
All right. In German, it was... Oh, God. It was the witch salve, because I'm not saying the actual word, or flying salve. Latin names included...
Sabbath unguent.
Or Palar organt, or sleeping organt. I hope I pronounced those right. If not,
I like to assume we never pronounce anything right.
Never. No one ever does in this podcast. We can never. All right. So there is a list of what it is made out of. So there's the fat of children digging out of their graves, juice of smallish wolfbane, and colleague foil.
I think it's cinque.
Cinque foil.
Or cinque.
Cinque foil. I don't know.
Wait, what? How do you pronounce that? Yeah.
Alright, so here it is. So here are some possible as well ingredients while you're searching that up. So here's belladonna, henbane bell, Jimson weed, black henbane, mandrake, hemlock,
Hey, pause.
and or
Think.
wolfsbane. No. Go ahead.
Think.
Sink.
Think.
So you were right at one point. Oh, I think you were right at the final one. Yay. Yeah. So that's basically, and I think it, and most of the ingredients I had said prior to Sunny pulling that up. Most of them contain atropine, heroscamine, and or scolopiamine. Mine. I can't pronounce words. There you go. Scopolamine. There you go. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for.
Scopolamine.
Yeah. So those, they do cause psychoactive effects, which psychoactive is,
Psychotropic?
What?
Psychotropic.
Oh yeah, so you already pulled it up. So yeah, it actually does changes the nervous system.
Ooh.
And does result in alterations in perception, mood, consciousness, cohesion, or behavior.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it did some interesting stuff.
Yep. It also has pretty much extreme toxicity of certain active ingredients. And
Yeah, like you said, most
Yeah.
of it was like straight up toxic.
yeah. And I think at some point it probably did mess with their minds, thinking, "Oh, we can fly," when really they can't. And some have gone into comas.
Yeah, and let's see. There's a page saying alleged
I
sexual
see that,
element in
yeah.
application.
Yep, that too. Yay!
They place the ointment under the arms and in other hairy places.
Oh my god. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah?
I've learned so much about folklore that I never thought I needed to know. But yeah, that's the Flying Ointment. What are your thoughts about that?
I'm confused about the sexual part of it, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I was just looking at my phone, mouth slightly open, just like, what am I reading?
Yeah.
Now, some of these, okay, in order to arouse feelings of love or hatred, or to inflict death or disease on the bodies of the faithful, they made use of powders, unguents, I don't know if I'm spelling that right, ointments, and candles of fat, which were compounded as follows. They took the entrails of cocks sacrificed to demons, certain horrible worms, not being specific, various unspecified herbs, dead men's nails, the hair, brains, and shreds of the cerements of boys who were buried unbaptized, with other abomination, which they all cooked with various incantations over a fire of oak laws in a vessel made out of the skull of a decapitated thief.
Yeah. And that we can thank St. John D. Seymour, who wrote the Irish witchcraft and demonology for that quote. Yay. I never thought I was going to learn about Flying Ointment.
The hallucinations are frequently dominated by the erotic moment, In those days, in order to experience these sensations, young and old women would rub their bodies with the witch's salve.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry, I'm still really hooked
Yeah.
onto that.
You are like, oh my god, what is this?
This is kind of hot. No.
Alright. I think we have time for one. Oh, we have like 5 minutes. You want to try to do one
Sure,
more?
I can speedrun it.
Yeah.
We have several options. There is Easter Bilby
Oh, I actually wanted to do Easter Bilby. Can you do that, please?
or Global Orgasm.
Let's do Easter Bilby.
Okay. Easter Bilby is an Australian alternative to the Easter Bunny.
Oh.
Bilbies are native Australian marsupials.
Marsupials.
Marsupials? Oh, marsupials!
Mhm.
Oh my goodness!
The one time I know how to pronounce a word. Yay!
I'm actually very proud. They are endangered, and to raise money and increase awareness of conservation efforts, Bilby-shaped chocolates and related merchandise were sold within many stores as an alternative to Easter bunnies.
Can I just say, the Bilby is adorable.
It does look pretty cute. It has like a long tail, and it looks really cute.
It looks so cute. But I'm like, wait, it's from Australia, which means it could kill me.
Probably. The first documented use of the Easter Bilby concept was in March 1968 when a 9-year-old girl, Rose Marie Dusting, wrote a story, Billy the Aussie Easter Bilby, which she published as a book 11 years later. The story helped catalyze the public's interest in saving the Bilby. In 1991, Nicholas Newland from the Foundation for Rabbit-Free Australia also developed the idea of the Easter Bilby to raise awareness about the environmental damage that feral rabbits cause and to replace the Easter Bunny with a true native wildlife. The first chocolate Easter Bilbies were sold at Warrawong Sanctuary, where it was owned by John Wamsley. All right, and the history.
That's actually a pretty long history, not gonna lie.
Let me speedrun it.
Yes.
Chocolate manufacturers that donate towards Bilby conservation include Pink Lady and Haig's Chocolates. In 2014, Pink Lady donated 30 cents from every large Bilby sale and $1 from every 10 pack. Parent company Fina Foods manufacturers chocolate Bilbies, oh my god, as well as other iconic Australian fauna in their Australian Bush Friends Easter chocolate. So it's talking about money, money, money.
Also chocolates.
Money, money, money.
Books.
Australian children's book author and illustrator Irina Sibley produced 3 Easter Bilby books between 1994 and 2000, including the best-selling The Bilby's First Easter.
Another
More authors, blah, 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 blah.
More chocolate and funds.
Yeah, so there's a lot of donation going towards it, and Easter Bilby is increasing in being a niche product.
Yay.
So, yeah. In 2019, Cadbury announced it will no longer make the chocolate Bilbies, and no major supermarkets carry them.
Wait, what? Where?
Yeah,
Why? Oh, wait.
Yeah,
is
because research has shown that throughout the last decade, the concept of the Easter Bilby has seen decreased interest in Australia, as shown by online searches and mentions and major newspaper. So, and there's a change in the Australian chocolate industry. So, yeah.
I'm just like, but it's a cute rodent that's not a bunny. I'm sorry, I'm biased towards bunnies.
But
But just
this
like,
is a very cute creature,
it is
though.
cute. So I actually would love to have, I would like to see one up close.
Mm-hmm.
Because they look so adorable. Like, not like pet it, but like just look at it.
Mm-hmm. They're
Like in a
reminding me of
zoo,
like
yeah.
chinchillas.
It's okay, so it's like a chinchilla and a rabbit mix.
And a rat.
And a rat.
That has a long tail. Well,
Yes.
chinchillas also have a
Oh,
long
yeah,
tail.
long tails, yeah. But it's like they look so cute.
Yeah, so, like, it's still kind of endangered, but because of the Easter bilbies and, there's also, reintroduction efforts had begun with a successful reintroduction into the Arid Recovery Reserve in South Australia in 2000. So in Queensland, the Carrawena National Park, there were 6 bilbies were released into a predator-proof enclosure in April 2019, which is very, very recent.
Like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, about.
No, 3 years ago.
Successful reintroduction have also occurred on the Perrin Peninsula in Western Australia as part of the Western Shield program, and at other conservation lands, including islands and the Australian Wildlife Conservancy, Scotia?
I don't know.
And Yukamaru Mora sanctuaries. There is a highly successful bilby breeding program at Kanyana Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. I am done saying these words.
You're done?
Either way, the bilby seems to be doing pretty alright these days.
They are.
Probably still in the yellow, because, like, you know, they are still considered as endangered, or they are becoming endangered. But because of these efforts, it does, you know, there is a bright future for the bilby.
Yay.
Perhaps.
Well, at least we ended this on a happy note.
On a happy note.
Yay. Steve Irwin would be so proud.
All right. Well, I think that concludes this episode.
Yep.
All right, give me more energy.
Yes!
Yeah!
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 Yeah! Oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare to edit.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us on this episode of Wiki Holes.
Yep. Where we just get lost in the hole.
Wherever there's a hole, we gotta go in there and see what's up. Wiki
Yep.
face. A hole's a hole. All right. Goodbye, folks. Have a good afternoon.
Or evening.
Or night.
Or morning.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.